right to ketamine
Oh,
and
I'm
talk about
so
ketamine
happy you're bringing this
because
up.
I've always been interested. I've had friends who have done it. What exactly is ketamine for those who don't know?
Ketamine it's a drug.
That is a Mormon reality TV wife in a wellness clinic with an IV in her arm, on ketamine, on camera. Her name is Demi Engemann. She is 31 years old. She is married to Bret Engemann, 47, a former BYU quarterback whose previous wife, Angie, was a cast member on Real Housewives of Salt Lake City. Demi is the stealth case study in how Mormon patriarchy survives modernization by wearing reality television as camouflage.
Young, and now she's in first grade, and
I
that's
know.
so crazy.
So
Oh my gosh.
crazy.
So another thing I want to touch on before we ask new questions is meeting Bret. So Bret is your husband now, and you guys have a pretty big age gap.
The age gap. Bret is 47, Demi is 31, 16 years, which in a non-Mormon context is a fact that provokes a conversation. In Mormon context, specifically the BYU-adjacent Utah sporting class Mormon context, it is a template. Bret was a BYU quarterback. Bret married his college girlfriend, Angie. Bret and Angie had 2 sons, Cole and Rome. Bret and Angie divorced. Bret married Demi. Demi was 21 when they met, at, per her own account, a family friend's funeral. This is not a dating app story. This is a ward function story.
And then I mean, Angie's not a main character on there, but she's my ex-wife. She's a friend of on the show, and so I know them. I mean, I know Angie well, obviously.
Now, Angie Harrington, Bret's ex-wife, is, of all possible things, a Real Housewives of Salt Lake City cast member, seasons 1 and 2, friend of in season 3, which means Bret Engemann is the only American husband currently alive whose ex-wife and current wife have both, across 2 different networks, had their marriages to him filmed. The Engemann household, considered as a data set, contains more Bravo and Hulu primary footage than any other single family in America. That is not an exaggeration. That is a measurable fact.
Right now, or Rome right now, and like, oh my gosh, and we just kind of vent about it. And Cole and Rome, if you're watching this, we love you, but there's hard stages, you know, there's hard things that come with it, with every stage, right? But
and Bret himself, the quarterback, the patriarch, the man at the center of 2 reality TV casts in 2 networks across 9 total seasons. On camera, Bret is calm, tall, and in the Hulu edit, unflappable. Off camera, per the Reddit-sourced rumors that the show has not officially confirmed, Bret was the one who actually cheated on Demi, not the other way around. Which would make the entire season 3 Demi did or didn't sleep with Marciano plot a misdirection cover for a much older, more specific Mormon husband cheats on younger Mormon wife story that the friend.
And it really took me going to therapy afterwards of my therapist to be like, you couldn't have been in a worse environment having been in that raw emotional state.
Marciano, again, the Vanderpump Villa cast member who, per Jesse and Gottacor's Call Her Daddy deposition, had an emotional affair with her. Demi is allegedly, per Marciano's own November 2025 TMZ statement, the one who pushed the public acknowledgement of the affair. Demi denies this. Demi has, as of April 2026, denied it loudly and repeatedly. Marciano has sued or threatened to sue Demi over the publicization. The suit has not been filed. The threat persists. Demi, in every Mom Talk group chat scene, is visibly the person most aware of how the narrative is breaking.
Okay.
Right?
Yes.
Like
No, I don't know.
ketamine therapy.
Yes.
And talk therapy,
Mm-hmm.
you know, energy work, all the different, they call them modalities.
Back to the ketamine therapy. Season 1, Episode 4. Demi, on camera, receiving IV ketamine in a Utah wellness clinic, treating postpartum depression. On screen, with a therapist, with Whitney Leavitt present as supportive friend. She later walks us back, says in interview that ketamine treatments make your brain extremely raw. You couldn't have been in a worse environment. Meaning, she regrets filming the therapy. Meaning, the therapy was real. Meaning, the regret is the editing decision.
It's really near and dear to my heart. I will say it has a lot to do with my mental health journey and postpartum.
Postpartum depression advocacy is now Demi's brand. She speaks publicly about medication-resistant depression. She names ketamine. She names SSRIs. She is endorsed by her own account evidence-based treatments that the LDS Church institutionally does not endorse. This is not a small thing. A Mormon woman publicly advocating ketamine therapy is a Mormon woman publicly declaring that her mental health requires treatments the church considers, at minimum, spiritually ambiguous. Demi has taken a position.
That is an age gap.
Yeah.
Because he has his not twin boys, he has his teenage boys.
Yes.
Like you said, you're a stepmom now. And when you came on, you said it was a hard adjustment.
Here's the rumor that will not die. Bret was her babysitter. Demi has denied this. Bret has denied this. The Engemann family has denied this. Reddit has nevertheless continued to float it. The source appears to be a misunderstanding. Demi's family and Bret's family were friends, so Bret was in some vague definitional sense a Bret who was around. But the rumor has weight because it maps onto a genuine concern that the age gap was negotiated when Demi was too young to negotiate it. Demi says they met when she was 21. The rumor says younger. The receipts on this one are not publicly available. Here is the pivot.
Him because he's my best friend, and so I get excited and I'm like, Cole told me this, but he doesn't want me to tell you. But yeah. I'm getting better about that. There's things you don't know that Cole has told me, and I will never tell you. Yes.
Really?
Because I want that.
Bret has 2 sons from his first marriage, Cole and Rome. Angie's kids, they're teenagers now. They appear occasionally in Demi's Instagram. They do not appear on the Hulu show, which is a production decision by Hulu that is, by any reasonable reading, the right one. A teenager whose mother is on RHOSLC and whose father is now on Mormon Wives should not be asked to divide his appearance fees between 2 networks with conflicting brand safety standards. Hulu, in leaving Cole and Rome off camera, has done a protective thing. Credit where due.
That if I were to compare the two, like our situation with Angie and then our situation with Blake, it's night and day. Not that like it's bad with Angie, but we just literally like.
And Angie, the RHOSLC ex-wife, has in the meantime continued her Bravo career. She and Demi do not publicly share a stage. They are both in the Utah reality TV ecosystem, asymmetric collaborators. Angie promotes her brand on Bravo. Demi promotes her brand on Hulu. Both benefit from the implicit cross-referencing. Neither benefits from a sit-down interview. The Engemann household is functionally a franchise dispersal model. 1 husband, 2 wives, 2 networks, 2 casts, 1 dinner table that somehow has to be quietly divided at Thanksgiving.
I met Demi on a show that we did for Unwell.
Alex Cooper's Unwell Network. March 2026, Cooper announces a YouTube-based reality competition spin-off featuring, among others, Demi Engemann and Dakota Mortensen. That is, for Demi, a Bravo to Hulu to Unwell triple. That is the portfolio diversification of a cast member who understands the platform concentration risk. Taylor is on ABC and Hulu. Whitney is on ABC and Hulu. Jesse is on Hulu. Demi, by the end of 2026, will be on Hulu, Unwell, and, if the rumors are accurate, a Netflix wellness documentary in pre-production. She is not diversifying for fun. She is diversifying because she knows the Hulu show will.
Mom talk or the show?
Both.
The show's arc on Demi has been, across 3 seasons, a slow pivot from villain to victim to strategist. Season 1, ketamine therapy on camera, Whitney's ally, soft edge. Season 2, the Marciano rumor breaks, Demi performs denial. Season 3, Demi leans into the wellness advocacy angle, Mayci's anonymous tip about Bret drops, the cast realigns. Season 4, Marciano's lawsuit threat, Demi's Unwell announcement, closing arguments. Season 5, per Hulu's spring 2026 slate, Demi is the new center of the show. Taylor's paused. Whitney is paused. Jesse is contractually on thin ice. Demi is climbing.
The Book of Mormon.
The Book of Mormon.
Yes.
That's really what it's called.
And Mormon. Because Demi is functionally the one cast member who has not publicly drifted from the church. She is still a temple recommend holder. She is still, by her own account, observant. She is still attending ward meetings. She is still raising with Bret the 2 stepkids and their own child in a Mormon household. That is, in the Hulu algorithm, a differentiator. Mayci writes a memoir. Whitney hits Broadway. Jesse weaponizes CHD. Demi is quietly keeping her temple recommend, which, for the Utah Mormon audience the show was ostensibly made for, is the only cast member they can still point to and say, she's still with us. That is a brand position.
My vision board is first and foremost family, extending, the love, the family, adding to that.
Family, Demi's word, repeatedly in interviews. Family is the frame. Family is the reason she doesn't address the Marciano rumor directly. Family is the reason the age gap with Bret is not a big deal. Family is the reason she takes the ketamine treatments so she can be a better mother. Every sentence Demi gives the press contains the word family somewhere in it, which is, if you have listened to enough Mormon public relations, the code for the ward is watching. Demi knows this. Demi uses it. The audience reads it as earnestness. The Utah audience reads it as defense. Second pivot.
Maud, and I think it took that episode coming out and Blake, because Blake's not an emotional person at all. So to have him be so passionate, I was like,
Because the Marciano lawsuit thing actually matters legally. Marciano has threatened to sue Demi for her role in publicizing the affair. If the suit is filed, Demi goes from Mormon wife to defendant in a Vanderpump-adjacent defamation action, and the Hulu lawyers have to decide quickly how to protect her, which they will because Demi is the season 5 lead. But the protection has a cost. Hulu's legal spend on Demi climbs. Hulu's risk appetite for her storyline narrows. The creative choice and the legal choice converge. And Demi, instead of being the one explaining her ketamine, becomes the one whose ketamine gets written around. That is the season 5 reality.
I think it's called.
oh my gosh.
But I can't complain all that much though.
I did?
You hit your head. He hit his head so hard on his son's car
Oh,
door.
yeah.
Oh,
Wasn't used to the height of the trunk.
The children in the middle. Again, Cole and Rome, Bret's first marriage kids, teenagers in Utah, scrolling TikTok. Their half-sibling with Demi, younger, in diapers. Angie's media content, Demi's media content. The children will, by the time they're 19, have access to every single piece of this. They will know what ketamine is. They will know what Marciano is. They will know that their father's first wife is on Bravo and his second wife is on Hulu. And at no point did anyone in their extended family sit them down and explain the architecture. They will build the architecture from the footage themselves.
The only one out there come to me. Everybody wise. This wise old guy. No, dude, I mean, I'm at the age now, we're the age, you know, where like when we were like teenagers, our friends' parents were like our age.
Yeah, it's freak.
Walk back. Demi is 31. Demi is an adult. Demi married a man 16 years her senior with her eyes open. Demi has, by every external signal, made peace with that arrangement. Demi has children. Demi has stepchildren. Demi has a functioning marriage. Demi has, by Mormon wife standards, a remarkably low divorce risk compared to Taylor, Jesse, and even Jen. The age gap is her business. The ketamine is her business. The advocacy is her business. The Marciano rumor is regrettably the show's business, but even that will eventually fade.
Thing is, every time I get off, I'm like, I'm doing good. My life is figured out. Like, why would I need to be depressed? Like, my life's great. But depression isn't just like the season of life you're in. Like, sometimes you clinically, you are
The ramp. Here's where Demi Engemann lands as of the second week of April 2026. Season 3 of SLOMW archived. Season 4 filming. Unwell reality show in pre-production. Marciano lawsuit threatened, not filed. Angie Harrington quietly doing RHOSLC friend of appearances. Bret silent, kids off camera. Ketamine advocacy on her Instagram. The Mormon ward in Utah still issuing her temple recommend. She is, by every measurable metric, winning the Mom Talk long game. The kicker, every other woman in this cast is trying to escape the architecture. Taylor is trying to escape her felony. Whitney is trying to escape the villain edit. Jessie is trying to escape her marriage. Jen is trying to escape the church-mandated patience. Mayci is trying to escape into literary fiction. Demi is not escaping. Demi is optimizing. Demi is, at 31, with a 47-year-old husband and a Bravo ex-stepmother and an Unwell contract and a temple recommend, the only woman on this show who looked at the Mormon wife infrastructure, did the math, and said, I'll keep it. And built a media empire without touching a single screw. If you made it this far, you either love me or you're looking for something to yell about in the comments. Either way, like, subscribe, and tell your sister.